Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We're live. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Shall we see if Radio Roger's back? You
He's
want to see if
back.
Radio Roger can do his intro at a normal level? Yes.
You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG, it's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy episode 714.
How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Jeff, Steph, Hillel, Nick, Anderson, and me. Oh, I guess I don't add myself. Do I? Do I add myself? When I'm setting up the chat room thing, do I?
No, you're automatically, since you're setting it up,
Okay.
you'll be part of
So
it.
Jeff, Steph, AJ, Hillel, and Nick. Okay, next. This is APG 714.
Oh, hang on.
What? Hang on, what? Okay, so I set up a WhatsApp chat for us in case we need to chat.
Stop.
What's up? Looks like Jeff's had an earthquake and his camera's facing toward the ceiling.
No.
No, I didn't think so. Okay. So everybody, hi there. We're all talking weather in the chat room about how hot it is in various places. Yeah, we had the hottest Canada Day here on record yesterday. It was 110 Fahrenheit, like real feel or humidex or whatever. Today it's only like 105, I think, or something. It's really humid. I don't like it.
Oh, I forgot my little propeller thing again from Craig. It's actually a letter opener, like the blades on the propeller.
Oh, yeah?
Or like
That's neat.
envelope opener, whatever. Oh, so when the sun, look at now, is my color a little bit better now?
Yeah, it is better now.
Yeah, and then as soon as the sun comes out, it changes everything.
The sun
Oh,
will
well.
come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
This afternoon.
tomorrow.
All
right.
Hello, when do you're flying to Oshkosh as usual, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah. When do you leave home?
I am starting my hopscotch across the country, hopefully on Wednesday, a week from yesterday,
Got it, yeah.
stopping at in Ohio to go to the Air Force Museum again,
Right.
and then continuing to stage outside of Milwaukee before Friday morning, which
Right.
is when I'd like to arrive in Oshkosh.
Don't you have what are you trying to say? A fixed base off FBO that you really like? Is it that the one outside Milwaukee?
Yes, there's two.
yeah.
They've got two locations. One is just over the Illinois border in Kenosha,
Right.
and the other location is to the west of Milwaukee, which is in Waukesha, but it's the same owner, same company.
Right.
And
They sounded great. Like
They're
just-
outstanding. They're
Yeah.
just the best. I've got a chance to speak with the owner a couple of times, and
nice.
he's a very cool person.
So it must be pretty busy around Oshkosh time, right?
It's surprisingly not. I mean,
Really?
there's so many other airports that people can
Oh,
stop
okay.
in, and not everybody spends the night. They're just going to get gas and go. And
Oh, yeah.
so I haven't run into too many people that were coming from or to Oshkosh.
There.
Yeah.
Huh.
In fact, I've run into more Oshkosh bound people in Ohio and in Indiana.
Right. Right.
Right.
All right,
You
gentlemen.
You got a right to see.
Right.
Are we getting
Let me do a
close?
quick speed test here.
Okay.
Is the good luck cat now our determinant of whether you're frozen?
That's correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You got
Of
that
course, I
right.
could be looping it. It could be just a loop, couldn't it?
It's true.
Along looping yourself.
Really had a
Nick-
If I looped myself, it would be a Fruit Loop.
Very good, yes. Very good.
Wow. 245 down, 800 something up.
Wow, that sounds very robust.
Kind of back to normal.
Yeah,
The up again
Yeah.
is
245 is great. The highest I ever get here up is like 150 or something, which is better than it
Okay.
used to be. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
Alrighty. Let me make sure I have the script ready for the intro.
You don't hear any noise when I'm moving around, do you?
No, just the creaking of your joints.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Good to see you. Let's see, we're into that, and then we're going to go over here, and we have Radio Roger set for 714, and now we're going to go to Media Assets and find the countdown, and let's do it.
You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy episode 714.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy show, the view from our side of the cockpit door, with your host, Captain Jeff, broadcasting live from APG headquarters in Roswell, Georgia. Today's show is recorded the week of June 29, 2026.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. Picture right and he's flying by. With the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, a Canadian airline pilot suffers seizures, sending his flight swerving, and a small plane crashes into Beijing's tallest skyscraper. Also ahead, more news and your feedback. So get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in the upright and lock positions. Electronic devices powered on. I'm Radio Roger, and Flight 714 is ready for pushback.
Thank you, Radio Roger, and welcome back. He is an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the #1 all-news station in the nation, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in
New York City!
Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. It's an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation news and answering your great feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot and retired Delta Airlines pilot. And joining me today from his Garden View studio,
in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
a retired professional dog photographer, former RAF RAAF fighter pilot, retired Airbus A330 A340 captain for Virgin Atlantic Airways. It's Captain Nick.
Hi there, Jeff. Lovely to be back on, having missed last week. Okay, APG 714. Now, I dug around a bit and I found an aircraft called the Stratus 714, which is a VLJ. Now, I learned something about this because I didn't know there was such thing as a very light jet. It's a class of aircraft, and it's under development, despite the fact that it first flew in 2008, so that's some time ago. It's a single turbofan fan. It's a JT-15D powered carbon composite aircraft, the name of which, the 714 bit, comes from the builder's targets. That is, they wanted an aircraft that could cruise at least Mach 0.7 had a single engine, 1 and 4 seats. Since then, the design has been stretched to comfortably seat 6 adults with bags, which means the nickname is now the 716, so it kind of doesn't fit anymore, which first flew in 2020. It's pressurized, has a ceiling of 41,000 feet, but weighs a mere 5,000 pounds, about 2.3 metric tons, and it's yet to earn a proper name. And I'm sure if you know how to get in touch with Stratus, they'd love to have your suggestions of the name of this rather sleek-looking light aircraft.
Any ideas? Any ideas? No?
And I was looking at all the layers in the atmosphere, trying to find, because stratus is obviously, I think, the stratosphere, and that's where it will fly, way up there. But none of them are very exciting names, really. Mesosphere and thermosphere, and they could call it a sphere, I suppose. But then it sounds like it's a balloon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't want that.
Circle.
Oh, look at Errant Traveler's very disappointed. No death or destruction.
No,
I know.
It's very sad, yes. Sorry about that.
That's fine with me.
Thing. He thought he was doing
Yeah, that's
a
a
good
good
thing.
thing. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for our show number reference, 714. And also joining us,
Out of the shower.
well, not when he's not in my shower or saving companies from themselves or using planes to save puppies, coming to us from his dungeon in the Baltimore suburbs. It's our Slack master, Hotel India 11 Echo 1. A special appearance by our lovely Hillel.
Okay, I haven't been called lovely in a while, but thank you.
You are
Be
lovely.
here.
I mean, you just, if you ask this young lady, do you recognize that little laugh? That's your wife. She thinks you're lovely, right?
Yeah, at least I'm lucky in that regard.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
Oh, hello. He needs more love.
Aw, we're going to give him as much as we can on today's show. And also joining us, speaking of love, from her studio in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a retired financier and aviation enthusiast, spreadsheet master, and our producer, it's the lovely, lovely Liz Piper.
Hello. We have a 4-seater here today. That plane was a 4-seater, and here we are with 4 seats on the show.
Yeah. We'll call it the APG.
Yeah, that's what they want to call it, of course.
That's what they should call it.
Have a great show, you guys.
Well, thanks, Liz.
Bye.
All right. Very good. All right, guys, what do you think? You want to do some aviation news?
I
mean,
have to.
It's kind of
What
why
else
we're
do you
here.
have to do?
I know, really. Drink beer, maybe?
Stand by for news.
All right, this from the New York Times. A small plane crashes into the tallest building in Beijing, China. In the central business district. Crowds fled as the crash sent debris falling into the streets below. A lightweight aircraft registered to the airline, Shuangyue General Aviation crashed. That's an airline? Crashed into
it's
the...
more of a flying school, actually, reading on.
Okay. Well, I can't believe that, the New York Times would make a mistake. They crashed into the CITIC Tower in Beijing on Friday. Well, it was, I don't know, a week or two ago. The cause of the crash is unknown. Video shared on social media, verified by the New York Times, showed debris falling from the skyscraper as people ran to safety. The footage showed broken windows and debris, including what appeared to be the tail of a small aircraft falling dozens of stories into the street below. The building is the capital's busy central district, is in the capital's busy central business district, which was clogged with cars at evening rush hour. It's not immediately clear how many people were injured, if any were. The whereabouts and identity of the pilot were also unknown. I have an idea. He's probably somewhere inside that building.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I neglected if I was supposed to have some video here. I don't, but okay. What? You mean something happened over there and now nobody knows anything about it? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, definitely worth talking about. Yeah.
It's noteworthy because most aviation enthusiasts know that the airspace in China is incredibly controlled. You don't fly around wherever you want, and I don't know that they said that this was anywhere in the vicinity of an airport. I didn't catch up on this particular incident, so it has certainly got a lot of bizarre written all over it.
Yeah. It almost looks like a targeted attempt by the pilot. I don't know, or maybe it was just somebody despondent and wanted to commit suicide and thought, it looks like a nice building to fly into. Or it could be, yeah.
There's a paragraph here I found interesting where they say it's unclear if the crash was an accident or intentional. It was also unclear how the pilot was able to fly into the city centre, apparently unobstructed. I mean, what were they going to do? Suddenly erect a big net in front of him to catch him or something?
Right.
I try to imagine how they would stop someone from flying a light aircraft over the top of a city. Well, as we know, it's surprisingly difficult, despite all the enormous money that the Soviet Union spent on air defense. Cessna 172, I think, or was it 150, I think, managed to fly into Moscow and land right adjacent to Red Square. They didn't get to shoot him down. So I think it's a lot harder than people imagine.
You don't think that the person writing this story might not quite understand, how this all works?
Yeah, and he keeps calling them an airline, but actually it's a regional flight training provider. So they might be training airline pilots, but
not very well.
Not an airline, no.
Yeah.
Not very well. Well, I don't know. If that was his target, I thought he did very well.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're training over there, but okay. Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's about all we can really say about that, and probably all we'll ever hear about that. We'll move on to this next one. This has a video associated with it. Let me read a little bit of the backstory. The Aviation Herald. There we go. For some reason, I couldn't think of the name of the publication. This involves a PAL Airlines, Provincial Airlines de Havilland -8-400 on behalf of Air Canada. Registration Charlie Golf Papa Oscar Echo, performing flight 7664 from Newark, New Jersey to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. With 61 people on board, was en route at flight level 230, about 50 nautical miles southwest of Boston, Mass., when the first officer decided to divert to Boston, reporting that the captain had become incapacitated. Passengers reported that the aircraft was suddenly swerving repeatedly after the captain had suffered seizures. A flight attendant rushed into the cockpit, pulled the captain out. Several passengers assisted to hold the captain. The airline reported that the captain was taken to a hospital in Boston. All right, so I guess we can take a look at the video. What do you think? Ready for that, Liz? Okay. Okay, sure. Yes, ma'am. All right, here we go. That happened on the 24th of June, 2026.
Rental 764, are you level at 23 or are you flying?
Sorry, Boston, we have an emergency here. Stand by here, Provincial 7664.
Roger, maintain level 230, let me know what you need.
Level 23, so can we let airport?
Provincial 7664, then in maintenance, 1,000 your altimeter is 2 in a minute, let me know what.
It indicates on the video here that there is a lot of audio interference.
Boston, and we'll stand by Provincial 7664.
Okay, we're looking
and then
at
Provincial 7664, any updates? What's needed?
Yeah, Provincial 7664, we have a captain, he's incapacitated. So
decapitated?
Incapacitated.
We'd like to request Boston,
Or incapitated? What? Wow. And if you do something wrong, you got to be careful.
And we'll go from there.
Yep, you're cleared to Boston via direct. You can descend and maintain 1000, and then if you have a minute, I just need the info on the what you think might be wrong.
That was clear to me.
And Provincial 7664, just one more bit. You're the co-pilot, correct?
Yes, I am. And any approach we're expecting in Boston?
They're landing runway 27 and 32. I can probably work out either one.
I would like to request 27 if possible, and then we are able to taxi. I will try to taxi off the runway, but let's plan to 27 for now, please.
All right, I'll let them know.
Good plan. This is from Bass Aviation, Real Aviation Communications.
Provincial 7664, contact Boston approach on 133.0. They'll have lower.
133, Joe, taxi Provincial 7664.
Provincial 7664, Boston approach.
Hello.
Provincial 7664, Boston approach.
Where are you?
Yep, Provincial 7664, 16,778, 15,000 of and Mayday aircraft.
W2269, flying heading at 120.
I guess they're pretty busy over there in that provincial.
That's great. It says Mayday, and the bloke would even talk to him.
John 120.6.
True.
Okay, 120 and 20.6 for JetBlue 269.
So much for priority handling, right?
Exactly.
Provincial 7664, wind 2709, gust 20, and that's a runway 3233 left, 27.
Yeah, we'll plan 27, please, and I guess RS 27.
Hello?
Provincial 7664, roger, expect vectors ILS 27 approach, descend and maintain 7,000.
Maintain 7,000, Provincial 7664.
Provincial 7664, when able, fuel and souls on board, please.
Currently we're sitting at 7,800 pounds, and we have 61, actually correction, 65 souls on board.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes, 6 just decided to get off.
Provincial 7664, you need to follow me, try to get off the runway.
Yeah, we'll try our best, but we'll try to get off the high speed, but I'm not unable to taxi further down, but we'll try our best.
Departure Brickyard 5603, 1,800, climbing 5. Provincial 7664, do you need to follow me truck at all?
She's not going to be able to taxi.
Do
He
you need
doesn't
to follow
understand.
me truck? So I'm going to escort you off.
No, I need a
I'm
tow
able,
truck.
I don't have like steering on my right side, so we'll just got to taxi off on one way and stop on the
There you go.
taxiway and shut down.
Maybe he understands now. Oh.
Okay, departure. I know you're busy. Brickyard 5603, 2.5, climbing 5. Brickyard 5603, climb maintained to 6,000, your radar contact. 6,000, Brickyard 5603. Provincial 7664, you able to run way 32 at all?
Stand by.
God, he's not making it easy for him, is he?
No.
I mean, he's not giving him a lot of priority. He hasn't provided. I don't know if this guy's managed to get his plates up and things, but sort of thing that I would hope would be that air traffic would be setting him up, given the ILS frequency, make sure that they didn't mess him about, give him any extra tasks, try and keep him frequency changes to a minimum, but they just seem to be treating him like any other traffic at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Oh, I got to do this.
Provincial 7664, turn to left heading at 100.
Left heading 100, negative, we'll plane 27, please.
Brickyard 5603, going departure 1825. 1825, have a good day, Brickyard 5603. Provincial 7664, descend and maintain 6,000.
6,000, Provincial 764.
Provincial 7664, turn left heading at 060.
Left heading 060, Provincial 764.
Provincial 7664, any update on 32?
Yeah, he's already said he wants to.
Can we stick with 27, please?
Provincial 7664, expect the ILS 27 approach, and wind 32011, gust 19. Were you able to get ATIS Charlie?
Okay, yeah, copy the wind now. Could try to get Charlie Provincial to 7664.
Logan Command, we will try. It's, I guess they can't.
Well, give him Charlie.
They can't taxi because of the way the plane's configured with the incapacitation.
Provincial 7664, roger. Contact final on 126.5. Expect the vectors ILS 27.
126.5, thanks for help. Provincial 7664.
Okay.
Boston approach, Provincial 7664, 7000, please, 6000.
Provincial 7664, Boston approach, turn left heading 360, vector 2, final approach course, descend and maintain 4000.
Okay, left heading 360, descend and maintain 4000, Provincial 7664.
This guy has a
Delta
nice voice.
2570, descend and maintain 2000, base turn in 3 miles.
2000, base turn 3 miles, Delta 2570.
Delta 3091, maintain 170 knots, the Ripid, contact Boston Tower 128.8.
170 Ripid, and Tower Shuttle 3091.
It's like the FBI guy. The
Boston
FBI.
Provincial 7664, sure, try to get the secure, cabin secure, we'll let you know when you're ready for the approach.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time, Provincial?
Yeah, 7664, we still try to secure cabin, and we'll let you know when you're ready for the approach.
Okay, so you're not ready yet. All right, Provincial 7664, roger. When you're ready to come inbound and you land, you can plan on turning left on runway 22 left, and they'll park you there.
Plan on 22 left, Provincial 7664.
Provincial 7664, negative. You can still expect the ILS 27. They're just going to park you on 22 left, a left turn off 27.
No problem. Planning off to 22 left, Provincial 764.
And can you taxi to the gate?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, normal delay vectors trimmed, extended 20-minute version without cuts is available. Link below. Okay, so we're not going to go with the extended version here. We're continuing.
425, roger. I'm not sure if you got the plan from them, but I guess they can't taxi with the pilot issue there. They're going to land runway 27, try to exit at Echo if able, and then or 22 left if they can do a right turn onto Echo and get clear, or they'll try to roll down and take a left turn onto 22 left.
Boston Tower, Provincial 7664, ILS 27, requesting, in case of missed approach, climb runway heading 3000.
This guy's thinking.
Provincial 7664, Boston Tower, roger. Did you want to do a low approach or just a missed approach?
No, just we'll find a landing 27 in case of missed approach. We're requesting runway heading 3000.
Provincial 7664, understood. That's approved as requested. Logan emergency services are also on this frequency. Wind 270 at 11, runway 27, clear to land.
Quick land 7664. We'll try to taxi off to 22 left.
All right, they're continuing their approach to 27. Yeah, this first officer is doing a heck of a job. All right, they're showing some video here. Safely landed. Captain is being removed from the front left door. He was taken to a hospital for medical treatment. And I'm not sure if there's any disposition of the captain's status or medical status on the Av Herald or not, but let's hope that he's okay. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the important bit, really.
Yeah. All right.
So what can we take away from that, Jeff?
What we can take away from that is, what we can learn from it is the great example that first officer showed us as far as being very clear about his intentions, about you could just tell he could see that the way he was thinking about things, thinking ahead. In the case of a missed approach, what runways are you using, et cetera, and trying to communicate to air traffic control that no, I can try to get it off the runway, but I can't go any further than that because I don't have steering capability on this particular airplane from my right side position, so that's what I take away from it. Very excellent performance by this first officer.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he had his head screwed on very well. I would have liked him to have been a bit more positive about what he wanted and what he was able to do. I think he could have declared his emergency in a bit more dramatically. That's not the wrong word? I'm just trying. Definitely, I think is the best way, because. And he needs to do it on every frequency he goes to, so that every controller knows the situation he's in. He kind of he did explain what was happening, but he never really, and he did say Mayday at one point, but he didn't do the classic Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. From that point of view, I don't think the air traffickers were giving him the priority that he needed that would have been appropriate. Because I think you're quite right in saying he's a smart guy. There's a lot of first officers who would have found that quite an overwhelming experience and would have needed a lot more assistance to get in. And we've seen it happen with other pilots where they're given too much to do without people understanding the limitations that you might have when you're single pilot operations on an aircraft that normally requires two of you, and you are only the first officer. I say only. First officers are usually very well qualified, but not necessarily on a commuter, regional jet or a turboprop in this case. So they're often gaining experience and don't necessarily have a lot. So I think air traffic could have been a lot gentler with him and been a lot more understanding, and I wish the controllers had passed the briefing on about exactly what the situation was from one controller to another, because I got the impression that the new controller that he had been handed to didn't really know a lot about what his situation was, and he kind of had to explain again what some of the issues were that he had. But,
do we know if he squawked 7700 at all, or just didn't change that? Because that might have perhaps been an explanation for why the other air traffic controllers were just handling him normally.
I didn't hear a request, and you wouldn't necessarily, if you're radar identified with a squawk, you wouldn't necessarily go on your own bat to 77, because it does highlight in some radar in countries, in some radar systems, you as an emergency, but on other countries, your transponder is now going to change, and the controllers might go, who's this bloke that's just picked up with 77, not realizing that it was a previous squawk that they were monitoring, if you see what I mean.
You do make a good point about the expressing the Mayday every time you switch frequencies to ensure that not only the controller knows, but also all the other people that are on frequency that have no idea that this guy is experiencing an emergency, a medical emergency or whatever, and if they know that, then they're going to try to keep their communications to a minimum.
Yeah, no. I was taught when I did my RT license, I hate to think how many decades ago, but as soon as someone came on the frequency and said Mayday, 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 everybody shut up, you gave the frequency to that bloke until, you could perhaps get a call in once the situation had been established and initial actions sort of been taken. But obviously not the case if you don't know that the bloke is in that kind of a situation.
Right. By the way, looks like we have another host joining us, and that is Alpha Juliet. Hello, sir.
Hi, AJ.
Welcome.
Hello. I don't know if you guys can see me.
We can
see you, but you're frozen.
We can see a frozen,
my cat's
image.
waving. I don't even see anything on the skunk on your hat isn't waving or anything like that.
No.
Well,
but we can hear you, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, that counts for something, I guess.
It's an audio podcast.
So. That means I have to have something to say, though.
Well, yeah, or something intelligent to say.
How's the volume?
I think it's good. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Well, hopefully the video will come back at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Very good. Let's continue on with this. Now, the reason really well, we don't really have to have a reason to have Hillel join us, but in this case, because he's here every week, usually taking a shower toward the end of the show, but he let us know that something happened in the news, aviation news, that he knows something about, and he wanted to know whether or not we could use his expertise and his knowledge about this particular incident. Or actually accident. And we said, absolutely, yeah. And so that's why Hillel is here. And this next news item is the news item to which I'm referring. It is the headline from Facebook, from Flight Route Explorer on Facebook. Newly certified pilot at center of deadly Maryland plane crash investigation. And you want me to just go ahead and hand it over to you right now, Hillel, and you can kind of explain what happened here? And
Sure, as you wish.
Anything.
So a pilot in his early 20s was certificated in the beginning of June and went on a night flight with two friends, both of whom were student pilots. And on the return flight, they crashed in a park that was adjacent community, so pretty close to homes. But it was 11:30 or so at night, so it was already well past sunset, and they all perished, unfortunately. And there was, as soon as I heard a couple of the pieces of information, I'm like, uh-oh, I think I know this plane, and I know where it's from, and I know enough about what's going on. Plus, it's the same plane that I fly, that I own a version of. And so I immediately contacted someone who I thought might have additional information, and it was all confirmed. So the setup is that they flew from Montgomery County Air Park in Gaithersburg, Maryland, which is just northwest of Washington, D.C., and still inside the special flight rules area, the big circle that's supposed to protect the nation's capital. And they flew it over to Ocean City, New Jersey. As it sounds, it's a coastal town. I've flown in there at least once or twice. It's a very short runway, but not really a problem for light aircraft. And they left and ended up crashing in this other location. What was strange to me is that if you were to open any kind of map and just draw a line between the destination and airport where they were returning to and the origin airport where they were visiting, they crashed easily 50 or 70 nautical miles off course, which made no sense. Not sure what they were trying to do. You're not allowed to just tool around in the SFRA. So this is, they crashed a few miles from another airport. They believed that they were trying to get to this other airport, but they were very much off course. And that's assuming that they meant to not be there. But regardless, it didn't make, a lot of things weren't adding up. Like, why were they there? And how did they get there, and all that stuff. So I'll just stop there and just open it back up to any kind of conversation or questions before I get into any more details, unless you just want me to dive into the details.
Well, you've kind of teased us a little bit, like, okay, why were they off course by, what did you say, 70 nautical miles or whatever? What have you found out?
So we don't yet know why they were off course. What we do know is there was no post-crash fire. So that's already a investigative red flag. And why would they be in that area? So the special flight rules area are two concentric circles around the nation's capital. I can pull one up if you want to show it. But the centermost circle is a flight restricted zone, so it's extremely restricted. You're not allowed anywhere near that or in it. You can be near it, but not in it, without a lot of checks and balances and rules. Then there's an outer ring where you can't be in that one without either being on an IFR plan, which they couldn't have been because he was just certificated as a private pilot, so he was not yet instrument rated, or on a special flight rules flight plan. but you're only allowed to go straight in, straight out, or straight through. You're not allowed to loiter. You're not allowed to, hang around. If you do any of that kind of stuff, they're going to start talking to you about getting out fairly quickly. So you're always talking to ATC on a discrete transponder code inside that outer ring. So exactly why they were there makes no sense. If they were, the post-crash fire or lack thereof is an indicator that they were probably didn't have a lot of fuel on board. That the engine wasn't getting fuel because that's where the fire would usually ignite if they had a lot of fuel. So if they were already saying, hey, we're low on fuel, we need to go somewhere, there's plenty of places they could have gone that were far more directly underneath their route if they went in a straight line from where they were leaving to where they were going. And so it makes no sense. Now, it's possible that they were going down, let's say, the Chesapeake Bay. It was a clear night, and it's a pretty view. And if you're traveling from the northeast to the southwest or just to the west, and you wanted to kind of tool along the coast, usually the western coast of the Chesapeake Bay, you pass Baltimore City, it's pretty at night. You pass Annapolis, that's pretty at night. You might be able to start to see the lights of the District of Columbia from the distance, that's pretty at night. But again, it's really far off route, and to tool around like that at 11:30 at night is still pretty unusual. So maybe they were thinking, maybe they saw that they had a fuel problem or whatever, that they said, okay, we need to land somewhere. And this airport, again, not the closest airport, not the longest runway. And I don't know if they're experienced with that particular airport. I've only ever been at the airport on the ground. I've never flown in or out of it. But I do know that the runway is very narrow, fairly short, and it undulates like a roller coaster. It is not the airport you want to fly, and it's in a black hole. It's in a wooded area surrounded by trees, and just beyond the trees are neighborhoods. So it's clearly not an ideal place to go if you're having an emergency. If you're on fire, fine, but if you have a fuel problem and you want to put the plane down sooner than later, BWI was not that far away from where they started. Fort Meade, not that far away. They may have passed directly over Annapolis Airport, tiny airport, terrible lighting, but closer. In any case, why they were at that airport or near it makes no sense to anybody yet. They have not released any ATC information that they may have on them as far as communication. So there are still lots of questions on why they were there. And then the fact that there was no post-crash fire just tells us there wasn't a lot of fuel on board. I don't know how much of this is actually public information. So let me go back and say, what's my relationship with this plane or the flight school that they were part of? My mechanic, my aircraft and power plant mechanic, worked at that flight school. He was their chief mechanic. He has since gone on to the airlines, but he still maintains my plane, still uses their facility to do some maintenance, still works for them, I guess, on the side, moonlighting, and he still knows everybody that works there, and he knows all the planes. And I've been there a lot. And so that's the first, I texted him immediately, said, did you hear about this? And he immediately looked it up and so forth. Then knowing about the kind of plane that it is, just like mine, or close enough. So I started thinking, well, what else could go wrong? Because no post-crash fire clearly sounds like fuel starvation. And but my plane, unlike a lot of other planes, you have to switch tanks from left to right in order to access the gas on the left or the right. So in the middle of your flight, you got to reach down and switch from left to right. Anyone who's flown that plane for more than 2 hours knows how to do that and will plan to do that in mid-flight just to balance out, fuel consumption, or at least watch it. I don't know whether that plane had a digital totalizer, which is that basically a digital way of measuring how much gas. And but just like any other GA plane of that vintage, early 70s, maybe even earlier than, I don't know exactly how old that plane was, but around the 70s, you can sort of kind of almost trust the gas gauges, but not really. So you get used to switching tanks mid-flight, one way or the other. So So when it turns out that there was still fuel on board, I don't know if that's been released yet, but I don't know that that's saying anything that won't be released eventually pretty soon. So there was still fuel on board, and it just didn't ignite, which probably means it wasn't being fed into the engine. It was just the fuel switch happens before the fuel pump. So you've got the fuel coming in from both tanks. You've got the switch, and then you have the pump beneath it. So you switch it from one tank to the other, and it just pumps fuel. It's a booster pump. You turn the pump off in flight. You don't need it because it just uses vacuum and gravity to feed once you've got the engine running. But takeoff, landing, climbing, changing altitudes, you turn it on just as a backup. So if there was fuel and there was no post crash fire, it tells us that the fuel selector was probably on the empty tank or was on an emptier tank than the other. Probably, we don't know that the fuel pump, whether the fuel pump was on or off. I don't know that really makes a difference. So there's still a lot of questions, not only like where were they or why didn't they switch tanks? Like what's up with that? And what I can share is there was one flight that I had in the last few months where I tried to switch tanks and I couldn't. And I wasn't in any danger whatsoever. I just wanted to switch tanks because I wanted to not burn all the entire flight from one tank alone. I wanted to land on the fuller tank, which is what you're supposed to do. So I flew most of the flight on one tank, and I wanted to land on the fuller tank. So I was going to switch to the fuller tank. I had plenty of gas in either tank. There was nowhere that I was going to run out of fuel anytime soon. But I wanted to switch, and I couldn't. And I'm like, what the heck? That's not good. And when I landed, so I stayed on the same tank, no big deal. Burned, I don't know, maybe an extra 2 gallons on that tank. So what? And when I landed, I found out that there is a screw that holds the plastic plate. So the way this fuel selector switch is designed is there's the actual switch is up against the inside skin of the plane, and then there's the padding and insulation, and then there's the interior upholstery, and then there's a plastic cover, and then the plastic cover has a couple of screws that screw straight through the cover through the upholstery and into a backing plate that's up against the switch itself. And then on the outside, you have the physical switch that you turn the knob. You can actually, and so it's a very simple assembly. But what I discovered when I landed and tried to switch, just look at what's going on with the tank or with the switch, I discovered that one of the screws had backed out and simply prevented the mechanical turning of the switch from right to left. And the good news for any of our planes is that, unlike a Cessna, if you're familiar with a Cessna or some other aircraft, what they have is they have four positions: left, right, center, and left, right, both, and off. And they're positioned kind of like a compass rose, like you would imagine. There's left on the left, right on the right, both up at north, if you will, and off is all the way down at the bottom. My fuel tanks, so since I don't have a both option, it's just right, left, and off. So in order to go from right to left, it's you turn the knob counterclockwise about 90 degrees. And if you were to go all the way off, you turn it from 90 degrees to now 180 degrees away from the right tank. So in my situation, I couldn't get it to go from right to left. It just, the screw that had backed out prevented me from switching it from right to left. So that's one scenario where if that happened to them, you'd never know it in the cockpit. You could not figure that out in the cockpit unless you're, from the position of the pilot, certainly not at night. And that would only be discovered later, like I did when I landed and was, putting the plane away. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I looked at it, saw it. Okay. Screwed it back in, made sure it was tight. Looked at the other one, made it sure it was also tight, that it wouldn't happen on the other side. And everything's fine. The other possibility is that he went from left to off, because the progression is from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock on the clock. 3 o'clock is right, 12 o'clock is left, 9 o'clock is off. So
Okay.
there's other possibilities that he was already on left and went to off, as opposed to going from right to left.
Oh,
Or in my scenario, which is like a 1 in a billion, who knows what that chances of that happening are in another plane, is that the screw backed out and prevented him from getting from right to left.
gotcha.
Can I take you in a different direction, assuming you sort of finished that, Hillel?
Yep.
This guy was only very recently qualified as a private pilot, and there were the other guys on board. They only had limited flying experience. How much night flying do you get? Do you have to do to complete a course? And what's his likely night flying hours?
I think the minimum, AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, is like 3 hours, maybe 5.
I think
10.
was 10.
10. 10's right. I was thinking of something else. Yes. 10 night flight hours. And that's the minimum standard. And it's also how many takeoffs and landings at night is also to a full stop. Isn't it also 10?
Something like that, I think, though.
Yeah. So
very limited
So
night
when-
flying experience.
Hi, I'm
How much
popping in.
instrument flying
hey, Steph.
experience?
Steph
When
has
I did it,
something
it was
to-
3 hours of night and 10 takeoffs and landings.
Okay.
Was the requirement for Part 61.
Oh, okay, that's even less.
yeah.
than I
So this
imagined.
is a 141 school.
So
Because I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm going to take my mates up for a ride and I'm going to, do some night flying, I'm going to plan this really carefully because I don't have a lot of experience of this, and we know how difficult the night environment can be. It's a really tricky combination of instrument flying and visual flying, and there are lots of illusions that can disorientate a pilot, and it can happen very easily and very quickly. So I'm just wondering why on earth he was flying at night with his mates on board, and what the likelihood is that he just became disorientated.
So the disorientation is clearly what I would think happened, but I'm pretty confident that these aircraft have even rudimentary GPSs or if an iPad or whatever that he was flying with. But you're right, 3 hours of night flight is not a lot of time, even on a clear night. And with that little experience, taking your friends up, who are also student pilots, but that doesn't mean that they can really be of much help. And it certainly makes a good argument for perhaps what we ought to be doing in the U.S. that they do in most other countries, which you have to have some separate qualifications to fly at night or some amount of instrument training to fly at night. And we don't actually get a ton of instrument training either. I think it's also 3 hours of instrument under the hood kind of training to get a private pilot certificate. So and Tim Van Rand does correct. It is 3 hours of night flight and 10 takeoffs and landings. So between AJ and Steph and I, we got the numbers right. We just got them in the wrong place.
I mean, the other thing, I'm just looking at some of the comments made in this report, is that the data shows that the aircraft was flying a fairly erratic course, which doesn't lead me to believe that he was perhaps concentrating as hard as he was able, or perhaps he just wasn't very good at night flying because he's meandering around rather than drilling his nice neat hole in the sky.
Yeah, and what makes it even more unusual is that the flight school is known for taking students straight through from nothing to airline or from nothing to professional positions, whether it's an airline or something else. So it is unusual in many respects, because if this flight school, and they're good at it, they're a machine, and they have a very consistent output, and their pilots end up going all over the place. I hear them in the airspace all the time. And so that this one particular student has gotten their certificate and didn't get the level of planning, professionalism, and serious attitude that one would think they'd be going for if their objective was to take this flight school through its entire program, which would have had them pumped out in a couple of 2, 3, 4 years as a flight instructor and a commercial pilot flight instructor and ready for a professional job. So you're just making the case for how so many things don't add up here.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
So it's just, the preliminary report. I don't think the MTSB's preliminary report has come out yet either, and I don't. That's isn't it? I guess it's only been 2 weeks or so, maybe less. It's a little over 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what they say preliminarily. But yeah, just a lot of questions. But it was just very surreal because I may have actually put my eyeballs on that plane when I was visiting the airport, the FBO or the flight school, and it's a. But like I said, the biggest head scratcher is what the heck were they doing in that area? Let alone problems with the fuel. But what were they even doing there? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, we have somebody in our live audience that says, Kim Teller says, I was just in the area just outside the SFRA. That's one area you do not mess around in. Not only crazy busy airspace, but obviously national security implications.
Yeah, in fact, the airport they were supposedly trying to get to when they may have realized they were in trouble is inside the inner ring, but because it's right on the edge, they carved out a little notch so that you wouldn't need special permission to get in and out of that specific airport. So it's in the SFRA, and if it was a perfect circle, it would be inside the flight restricted zone, which is the inner ring. But they carved a piece of the inner ring out, chucked it into the SFRA so that you could fly in and out of that airport without any extra work beyond what you would already need to have to fly inside the SFRA. But other than that, it's not only is it in the SFRA, it was precipitously close to the freeze. So, I'm pretty sure if you have like a major emergency, the freeze is like the last place you want to go. I'd rather put it down inside on the Chesapeake Bay, or on one of the rivers that goes in and out of the bay than to put it inside the freeze.
And I want to correct myself. It was Ken Sellers, not Kim Sellers. My bad. Didn't mean to mess up your first name. Yeah, this is interesting. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Or are we just going to wait until the preliminary comes out and hopefully we'll learn something about what they think may have happened here?
It sounds like there's a lot of reasonable possibilities, a lot of ways this could have gone wrong.
Yeah. I'm thinking, not a lot of instrument training, right? You have a minimum amount for your private certificate, under the hood kind of training. At nighttime, you could argue that, it's depending on the conditions, that can be like instrument flight rules kind of flying, depending on your experience level. And so I could kind of see the kind of swaying back and forth with the course and not being a nice straight stable line. Not sure if that airplane has a autopilot system in it. Probably not. I
mean, if they didn't have a magenta line to follow, whether it was their iPad or in the panel, it would certainly be doable. Not, it would be fun. It would be doable using VORs or whatever. But if they were dead reckoning or trying to use highways, that could possibly explain how they ended up over there. They were flying along the wrong highway, I suppose. I don't know. But or they were just following the Chesapeake Bay, which they picked up around Philadelphia, which really would be the Delaware River and then the Delaware Bay and then the Chesapeake Bay in that order. So, but doing that at night, it's not like the waterways are lined with lights like a runway is. So.
I have to say, I'm very, very thankful that when you and Liz were first talking about this accident, Hillel, you said something about your airplane that they were flying. I thought it was actually your airplane. Now I understand. It was one very much like the airplane that you own and fly. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you still have your airplane still intact. That's good.
I am too. In fact, years ago, they offered to lease the plane, my plane from me. That flight school said, hey, we could really use a plane like yours. It's a great instrument trainer. And
Yeah.
so, because I just spent a lot of money upgrading my panel, of course, it was a good instrument trainer.
Yeah.
So they wanted to lease it from me. And I said no. And, this would be one reason why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But really sad on too many levels. And we'll just have a lot of questions we may never answer.
Yeah. And our producer mentions to us in the back channel that our first feedback item from Tim Van Ram talks about instrument flying experience, etc. In for your private pilot certificate. So we'll be standing by for that. All right. Yeah. I was thinking, can we do one more news item? The one regarding the Fly CAA at Kindu. It's letter E, O1E. It is a doozy for sure. All right, we're going to continue, and probably will be our last news article / item in the news segment, and it involves a video, but I'm not going to play the video quite yet. We're going to have it queued up. I'm going to talk about a little bit about this flight, set it up a little bit from the Aviation Herald. A Fly CAA Airbus A321-200 freighter, registration 9 Sierra Alpha Juliet Mike, performing flight 282 from Kisangani. Oh, I've never Kisangani. Kisangani. Oh, okay. To Kindu in the Democratic Republic of Congo was on approach to Kindu's runway 18. However, ADS-B data suggested a serious offset. In other words, they weren't anywhere close. From the aircraft true position, the aircraft positioned the beam of the runway center line, began to descend, and did some turning to get aligned with the runway, but then they went around at about 2,200 feet MSL. The aircraft climbed at 3,000 feet, positioned for another approach. Let's try this again to runway 18, but again, aligned off the runway center line, began to descend and went around a second time, this time at 1,900 feet MSL. The aircraft then positioned for an approach to runway 36. Hey, the south runway is not working. Let's try the north runway. The aircraft then positioned for an approach to runway 36, again not aligning with the runway center line. They're having trouble here, but this time managed to turn onto the runway. Turn onto the runway. Okay, the aircraft touched down.
Like on the ground or in the air?
I think they mean on the ground.
Oh, okay.
I think. You'll see. We'll watch the video and see what you think. The aircraft touched down at a high pitch angle. A cloud of dust arose from the tail of the aircraft that rolled out without further incident. Okay, so... by the way, the Aviation Herald received information on the 25th of June indicating that the aircraft made a hard landing and the right main gear suffered damage, including the rupture of several hydraulic lines. The runway sustained damage as well. All right, take that, runway.
Exactly.
So, video time for sure. Okay,
Rule
let's
1,
take it.
don't break the airplane. Rule 2,
So this
don't
is
break the
attempt
airport.
this is attempt number 3. The landing attempt to land, or actually they did land, not very well, on runway 36. So here we go. Where is it? Here it comes. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. We zoomed in a little bit. Yeah, everybody's happy because they're going, yeah, maybe this time they're going to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, here comes my parcel.
Must be a lot of dirt on the runway.
It's an unimproved runway.
I mean, it did. Yeah, Liz is wondering if it was a little
wasn't necessarily
fast.
very fast.
Oh.
He might
But
have
it
had
did look-
high ground speed. I don't know what the wind was, but with that nose angle, if he was fast, he'd be going up, not coming down.
Shall we look at it again? Okay. Oh, yeah. It's squawking at me. Here we go. All right. Kind of a pretty big turn at the very end there to align with the runway. Yeah, everybody's very happy. Mama, she's coming on in. Boom. Honestly, when I was watching this video for the first time, I thought I was going to see some kind of a big explosion at the other end of the runway. But no, it's okay.
Thankfully, no. Just
Thankfully not. Yeah.
hard landing, damage to the
that
runway,
seem-
damage to the airplane. Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
That
The
seemed like
hydraulic
not a
lines
lot
were
of flack
probably
to
on the
anybody
gear he damaged.
Yeah. Liz, do you have that still of the ADS-B plot? Yeah. We can kind of see the flight path. It's a little
kind of
erratic.
approach aids did this airport have?
0. I think it was supposed to be a visual
Very
approach.
wiggly ones.
Wow, look at that. I mean, I think that's more wiggly than that river that's just to the north there.
So
Depicted
was
on
he
this
actually
satellite
doing an
view.
instrument approach, or
Yes,
was he just
it was-
trying to get visual?
IFR, I follow river.
I follow river approach. Okay. Good one.
Steph.
Wow.
I mean, it looked kind of like visual conditions in the video.
Yeah, looked like it
Seems
for
like
sure.
it shouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe it's
Wouldn't have thought
hazy
they'd
or
have
foggy.
that many problems.
But
Perhaps they
Yeah.
had another issue.
yeah, perhaps.
I don't know. I guess
Perhaps
the
all
BP.
the baggage, all the freight was in the back instead of.
It was all on one side. They couldn't go in a straight line.
Wow.
know, but that was a nightmare.
The DR Congo's BPEA reported that they were informed by a third party that a CAA aircraft was involved in a safety event during its landing at Kindu. Somebody narked on them. No.
They were just ready to fly that thing back out of there. They're like hydraulic
Yeah.
lines. That seems.
Yeah, we don't need them.
That's right.
Just
We've got
backup.
3 hydraulic systems.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
One of them will
Yeah.
work, surely.
What could go wrong?
Do we need all
right.
three?
Yeah, anyway. So, you know what? It's time for us to get to know us, the segment where we get to share what we've been up to between episodes that we've been on. And I think, it's been a while, Hillel, since you've joined us on this show. Well, actually, no. Every show you're on, but, in a different way, in a different manner. So why don't you, just for those who just know Hillel as the guy that's always taking a shower wherever I am, could you please enlighten those who are possibly new listeners who you are?
Sure. So the Hillel part you all know, and you heard Jeff's intro. I live outside of Baltimore. I have been flying since 2007, and more or less, and purchased a plane about 2 or so years after getting my certificate, got my instrument rating, and was going to get a commercial rating that I didn't, because I didn't need it, but maybe I'll do that later. Who knows? In any case, I do a lot of flying for Pilots and Paws, which does, animal rescues. So that's how I find excuses to get in the air. I have been flying to Oshkosh every year since 2015. And in fact, the ability to go to Oshkosh was a motivating factor to get my instrument rating sooner than later, because I didn't want to end up trying to fly to Oshkosh and then having to rely exclusively on VFR to get there. It's quite a bit of travel to risk not being able to get there the whole way. And flying a Cherokee, it's what I own, is a Piper Cherokee PA-28, doesn't really do great on altitude, so I can't fly above a lot of weather. So I have to make sure that I can actually go through whatever I'm flying in. And so that's that. I think, if my recollection is correct, I may have been the dubious, owner, if you will, of Jeff making meetups. I think the very first meetup was actually when I found out Jeff was going to be in Baltimore. I said, "Hey, you want to go to dinner?" And he said to his first officer, "I'm going to go to the dinner with the listener." And the first officer thought he was crazy for meeting some rando in Baltimore.
And
just one of many reasons why he thought it was
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that started the meetup tradition, and at least not on the show.
Was that the one that we went to the brewery?
Yeah.
Full Sail? No, that's not
no,
right.
that's a different one. There's that brewery doesn't exist
it's
anymore.
It's a sea theme.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly
It wasn't
the
Heavy
name of it.
Seas. It was
something like that.
Yeah, it was something else that. So yeah, it was a really nice brewery. Unfortunately, that brewery didn't last, but we met a couple of times there.
Yeah.
And so how I ended up in the shower is a long inside joke, but really it's the idea that to do Slack as a way of staying in touch with the community. Jeff said, "Fine, if you want to do Slack, you do it."
Yeah, you got it.
So
I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, so I said, "Sure, no problem. I can do Slack for you." And then the rest of it is just flying around and experiencing and owning a plane and having the trials and tribulations of owning a plane, and get together with a lot of APGers throughout the year, as often as we can. Find excuses to get together. So Oshkosh is obviously the biggest of all those events, where most of us see each other once a year. But thanks to the community that Jeff's created, it doesn't feel like it's only once a year. It just feels like we're only seeing each other once a year, but we're not involved in our lives.
Well, you've told us about all the ways that you spend money. How do you make money?
Oh, yeah. So I am essentially a business consultant. I work with early stage companies and growth stage companies to try to grow. So most of my time and energies are spent in helping companies basically get out of their own way. So at different levels of growth. So if they're early stage, we're usually working on strategy or things like how do we actually produce what we're supposed to produce, and then they're growing. How do we do two things at once? Grow the company without killing it, and while setting it up for being able to keep growing. So there's their own challenges. So that's what I do to make money, is work with those. And I also teach at graduate school at university every now and again.
He's a very smart guy. Yeah.
Oh, some people
Neil.
think
Neil Lanhorn says, was that the one where we went to the brewery? As if that narrows it down. That's true, Neil. I was talking specifically with, well, yeah, never mind. He's right.
When did we
it
not
doesn't
go
narrow
to
it
a
down at
brewery?
all.
Yeah. I figured that was the only way Jeff would say yes, is if I made sure we went to a brewery. So.
One of the most memorable one was that the place that had the famous beef sandwiches.
Oh yeah. Because so there's a Chaps Pit Beef has been on Divers, Dine-ins, and Dives, or whatever that's called. It's a food TV, made famous
Triple
by
D.
food television.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good pit beef, and everything they cook is grilled. The funny part is that it's barely a woodshed in the parking lot of a gentleman's club. It's just very strange location.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Right. I had to keep Jeff from going in there.
Tim Van Ram says, I love that Hillel flies rescue dogs.
Yeah. So we actually kept one. We flew with a dog.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I want that dog.
Remind me, what's his name again?
His name, we call him Tango, which was
Tango. That's right. Tango. What a
My
cute dog.
wife named him. She said you should call him after the plane. So because that's we rescued him, and then the tail number is 4554 Tango. So she's like, you should call him
Excellent.
Love it. Well, thanks so much, Hillel, for being here each and every week, but also coming on every now and then to kind of lend your expertise and knowledge and such.
My pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely. I look forward to seeing you in just a couple of weeks, a little more than a couple of weeks, up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. I'm already making too many plans, and it's too far away to actually do anything with them.
Yeah, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
All right. Who would like to go next? Well, you know what? Alpha Juliet, let's go with you next, because you are in a place that I don't recognize.
In Central Florida.
Where?
An undisclosed kitchen in Central Florida.
Undisclosed kitchen in Central Florida. Okay.
And I'm just going to point out that amazingly, he might have the coolest temps of any of us right now in Florida. which
Oh.
I don't understand, but that's the world.
inside.
Yeah, that's not normal. Yeah, what is the high temperature there? In the 80s or something?
No, it's in the 90s. It was.
Oh, is it? Okay.
94 today. It's 94 right now.
Okay.
Oh, 93.
What
I had to say
here in Roswell, it's 96. 98? Oh, yeah. Steph is, and I don't know, I think Liz actually might be the winner of the highest temperature. She's looking right now. Okay. We're standing by. 95. Ooh, so Steph has you beaten by 1 degree. Feels like 44. That's like 104 or something like that.
Or feels like 42, which is 108. Or, no, yeah. 105,
Wow.
Yeah.
But is anybody else at 103% humidity?
No, you can keep that in Florida.
103? Wow. That's humid for sure.
No, we're underwater.
Yeah.
It's raining.
Surely if you're underwater, you can only get to 100.
It's very dense water, Nick.
It's H3O. Wait.
Okay.
So
Show title, H3O.
I'm located mostly equidistant between 2 airports, and the airport with my plane is showing at 94. The airport in the other direction, that's, like I said, is equidistant, is showing at 104.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's hot. Actually, in most of the northern hemisphere, it's really hot.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, 97 at my airport, 94 at the other one.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a good thing somebody invented air conditioning. That's all I can say.
And swimming pools.
And swimming pools. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us, Alpha Juliet, how do you find yourself in Central Florida? Is this business or pleasure?
No, this is pleasure. This is family vacation. So we've been down here since last Friday.
Nice.
Kind of funny story getting down here. So I had to work on Friday. So that means I didn't, and I left a little bit early, but not too early. And I ended up getting to the airplane and ready to go with my oldest daughter at 3 o'clock, just after 3 o'clock. My wife had left the house in Atlanta at 11 o'clock and started driving down here. So we get in the airplane, we take off at a little after 3 o'clock, and we beat her here by 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, flying usually is faster than driving.
Sometimes.
Tim Van Ram is bragging. It's only 71 degrees Fahrenheit out here in Marin County, Northern California. That's probably dry, too.
Go get
it's
a
probably
jacket,
not
Tim.
humid. It does sound very nice. Yeah. Thank you for that, Tim.
So flew the airplane down to this tiny little airport called Apopka, which is a great little airport. It is a public use runway and a privately owned condominium complex for everything else. Taxiways, ramp, all the hangars are all privately owned. There is no public parking. There is no tie downs, no nothing. It's an interesting little scenario, but anybody can come do touch and goes and buy gas, but you can't park for longer than you're getting gas. You have to leave.
Okay.
So got connected up with one of the owners that had an empty lot, and he said, yeah, you can park there, no problem. Gave me a super crazy cheap rate. He's charging me about as much for the week as one of the other airports quoted me for an overnight tie down for 1 night.
Wow.
So
nice chap.
like, yes,
Good
I'll
deal.
do that. Take my money.
Right.
So let's see if this will work. Computer's being a bit of a pain.
Oh, there you go.
So
Looking
that's
at some photos.
me and
Make
my
sure you send
oldest.
those to me so I can include them in the show notes.
Yes, for sure. I'll put them on the WhatsApp.
Oh, you've got an Aviate T-shirt. Nice one.
Oh yeah, aviator. That's 8 right.
Oh, very good. Well, I can't see the R.
Yeah, it's cut off.
Yeah, so we flew down. A little bit of thunderstorm dodging on the way down on
What? Florida?
on Friday.
No.
Yeah, I know it's so odd for this time of
Crazy.
year in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few storms, and got down here, got parked up, and ended up having to take an Uber because I beat my ride by 2 hours. So
You couldn't have just waited for a couple of hours?
it was 102 degrees outside.
Uh-huh.
It's hot. I wanted to.
You could have a big
to go to the
fan on
pool.
the front of that thing. Just turn it on.
Yeah, that's a big fan. You're right. It's an expensive fan
very
when you're
expensive
running it.
Yeah.
Just go back up and fly circles around do some orbits at the altitude. It's cooler.
Yeah. Let's go find that car and buzz them on the highway.
Well, the funny thing is, so we had a couple of our other friends were all caravanning down at the same time, and they said they were watching on flight radar as I passed them.
Ah, I see.
It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Had to fly her, my daughter, up to Jacksonville. She had another trip that she's going on, so went and dropped her off in Jacksonville and got to meet the cutest little airport doggy.
Aw.
Don't know his name. No one said anything about him. I think I was the only one who could see him.
Is that a Chihuahua?
It's a Chihuahua.
Uh-huh.
And he just ran up, jumped on a little bench, and said, "You may pet me now." And we
Nice.
I will take the loves.
Yeah. Super cute, super nice. And then today, got to take the other two kids and my wife, and we went and did the low approach over the space shuttle landing facility.
Oh, that's the space shuttle
really
runway.
neat. So hopefully I'll get. My wife took a lot better pictures. I was trying to fly and take a picture, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. But
how long did it take you to fly all the way down that runway? Because it's about 50 miles long.
And how many touch and goes could you have done along
Could
the
I
length
have
of
done
it?
at least 14? At least.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 15,000 feet long, 300 feet wide.
Wow.
Pretty wild. It's neat as you fly down. You get to see the shuttle assembly facility. You can see Cape Canaveral, the actual launch tower and stuff off in the distance. And I'm really glad this worked out because I've been kind of watching every day, and it's always been tomorrow there's going to be a TFR. Tomorrow there's going to be a TFR, and it's literally moved every day. So right now, tomorrow, there's a TFR for a rocket launch. So I don't think they've successfully launched the rocket, or maybe they just have a whole bunch of rockets. But super easy to deal with. Called up Orlando. They gave me, I had to go from one side of the Orlando's Class Bravo to the other. They cleared me into the Bravo, gave me a straight shot over to the landing facility. Got to talk to NASA Tower on the radio, which was really cool. They go by NASA, their call sign is NASA Tower. And then he sent us right over to Space Coast, which is right next door, Space Coast Regional. And we got to park on the ramp at the Warbird Museum. There's a Valiant Air Command museum with a whole bunch of warbirds and all kinds of cool stuff. And I just thought it'd be fun, so we popped over there.
Nice.
And this is the cockpit trainer of a B-52. So both my younger ones got to climb up into the cockpit of a B-52 and flip all the switches and move all the levers and stuff. And it's hard to see in this picture. I don't think I added the one with it, but right outside the right front window of that the cockpit there is where the airplane is parked. So it's like right here.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of cool. I took a picture for the owner of the airplane. That took a picture. I said, "You ever seen your airplane out of the cockpit of a B-52?" So
love it.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Throttles enough there? How many? Eight throttles there.
Eight
Wow.
throttles.
Did you get your hand round them all? Did you try?
I did. I can.
Oh, wow.
Right. My kids combined, they can too if they work together. It's a team exercise.
Yeah. All the hands. Yep.
So, yeah, that
Right,
was
very good.
that was part of why I was late. Was we went and did that museum for longer than I expected. It was a little.
No
It
problem.
was
Hey,
better than I expected. So
priorities, it's it's a family vacation. So
between
you gotta,
that and traffic.
Better than my
and traffic,
excuse.
Yeah. All right. Let's do. Yeah, we missed you, Captain Nick.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you join us last week?
I agreed to go to a dinner. There's an organisation, actually it's worldwide, you've got it in the States, called Probus. And they're basically, it's for professional men who are retired and they want to get together every now and again and drink a few drinks and have a meal.
That's every day, isn't it?
Just about. They're likely to do it once a month. But I've got a friend who, is, I think he's the financier for this local group. And he said, "Oh, come and join us. It should interest you. We've got a talk about a chap giving a talk about the Cold War, and he was a Vulcan fella. So that's basically where I was. And then, in addition, last week I got to meet Stefan. So
Captain Stefan.
Yeah, he came. He was across from Germany, and he just got in touch and said, "I'm here from Germany. Yeah, I want to go to Brooklands. So you will take me to Brooklands, yeah?" So
Sounds just like him.
It does, doesn't it? It's perfect.
Exactly like him.
Stunning.
You couldn't tell us apart.
No.
So we I said, yeah, sure, Stefan. I bombed on down to pick him up from a railway station that he got to. And we went to Brooklands, and that's one of the historic buildings there. It's got a great history, Brooklands.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Looks
a great
familiar.
Ancient motor racing circuit. It was one of the first proper
my kind of place.
circuits built back in 1907. It's got a banked circuit. Only parts of it are viewable now.
Wasn't Brooklands like huge? It was a massive track, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was pretty big, the size of an airfield, and that's what basically it became because after 1937, Second World War started. They, yeah, I know this.
Oh no!
I was saying, we dropped a few of those in Hamburg, I think, mate.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've got some great aircraft there, as well as motor racing exhibits. So that's me trying to handle the throttles of a VC-10. I didn't realise that the later versions only had 2 reversers. I mean, that's a bit easy. But actually, I remember now that the flight engineer had a set of throttles as well, and he did most of the throttle handling on the aircraft, which I thought, I forgot all about that. So that was us wandering around Brooklands, but we did a quick video. So do you mind if I whack that on, if you pardon the expression?
As long as you don't do the opposite.
Maybe a family show.
And we can
everything stays
hear
on.
what Stefan has to say.
Wow. This is make sure you turn the camera off. All right.
Hi, Captain Jeff. It's the old pilot here. I'm going to let Stefan talk to you now and tell you all about his visit to London. And Stefan, over to you.
I almost would have made it to the last event where the Pilot UK 600 cars.
PT UK 600.
I looked up everything, but all the car tickets were sold and everything, and I actually don't have time. I have very seldom time later.
That's PT UK, but we missed you because there were so many APG listeners and crew there. It was good.
Oh, okay.
Next time you must try. Try harder.
So now we have to make a very good. We lot of preparation we have done here. Special instructions to sit here and everything. And I put my hat on because he has his lovely hat on. What I was doing in London, that's what you're interested. I'm here to visit airplanes. It's all about airplanes. And here was an airplane guy, even an airplane podcast guy. So this is perfect. We visit a lot of airplanes you have flown.
We've seen a bunch of them.
A bunch of them. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't give me any proof, though, so maybe it's just a story.
That's true. Just have to listen to my plane tales and you'll hear all about it.
Okay, I've done that already. No, why I was here? I was here with my lovely wife, and we visit. She is tonight visiting the Royal Orbiter, Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Yeah. She's attending that, and that's why I'm here at the same time.
At the Royal Albert Hall.
And we had the Royal Brooklands Museum.
No, it's just the Brooklands Air Museum.
Nothing royal about
this
yesterday we visited the Royal. Oh God, the Buckingham Galleries. That's it. Buckingham Galleries.
Right.
I joined my wife looking at all the clothes from the coronation to the wedding of the late Queen. Queen Elizabeth
that would be something special, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was special. Yeah, it was special. It was, of course, a fashion, which my wife has more experience about that than me, but it was very nice. And we had nice food yesterday. And we visit Wellington Bomber, and isn't it? Which I and yesterday I had a Wellington steak. Does it
beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington, that's it. Beef Wellington. Is it anything?
I'm sure they made the pilots of the Wellington Bomber eat beef Wellington all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Because it would make them much better Wellington pilots.
Yeah.
Yes. Or they could put them on their feet. They would be Wellington boots then. You know Wellington boots?
No.
They're galoshes, waterproof boots.
Okay.
We call those Wellington boots.
Okay.
We are getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Tell us about what we've seen today, because it's such a good museum.
I can first of all, what we haven't seen, we have not choose to take the Concorde experience.
Yes, that's true. Couldn't quite afford that.
Yeah, we didn't want to make a Concorde type rating in the simulator for, was it a 1,800 per
The
nose?
tickets go up to £1,800 each.
Yeah.
For the full Concorde
type rating
simulator experience, so couldn't quite afford that.
No, but we walked underneath of Concorde.
We did
get some shade.
Yeah, it's a very pretty, very pretty airplane.
The Bach 111. Your father's airplane.
No. Well, my father's airplane wasn't the 111.
Yeah, but no, I'm sorry. I'm talking too fast. We visit the Bach 111, and we visit also the
DC-10,
and that's where your father took you on the jump seat.
And we sat. In fact, it was an ex-BUA aircraft, so that was my father's aircraft, company, and he almost certainly flew that one. And
do you have his logbook? Can you check that?
I don't have his logbook, sadly. They're still in Australia, but one of these days I might get a chance. But no, brilliant. And the chap that showed us around was very knowledgeable, and it was lovely because I probably sat on that flight deck going somewhere with the old man because I used to go on trips with him, and it brought back a lot of great memories. So that was really nice. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it made a couple of pictures of you there. You should share it.
So.
Yeah. And what else aircraft we did? Oh, the guy who was very courageous. No, you said the British word was someone very talkative.
Oh, garrulous.
Garrulous.
Yes, Stefan's learned a new word, garrulous.
Yeah. Don't ask me how to spell that because the British spelled something totally different than you ever think about it.
With a G.
Yeah.
We spell it with a G.
Yeah. At the end or the beginning or in the middle or in the middle?
Yeah, all of those.
Okay. That was also very nice, and we saw some interesting comics about this airplane, where the flight attendants walk across a wing spar.
Oh yeah, this was the Viking.
Yeah, the Viking.
The Viking, which my father, if you remember the plane tale, he crashed one. But that was really interesting to see that aircraft. I didn't realize that the wing spar went right through the middle of the cabin, and you had to climb over it to get from the back of the cabin to the front. And it's about 3 feet tall, which must have been quite a thing. And there was a fantastic cartoon. I should have taken a picture of it.
You didn't?
Of the favourite seat. No, I didn't take a picture. I should have done. For the gentleman to sit in was the one where the stewardess had to lift her leg up to get over the wing spar.
Typical male fantasy.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And they all wore stockings in those days, supposedly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, the Viking was a very interesting airplane to see. We saw a Vanguard. We saw a Viscount. We saw what else? Front end of a Vulcan. We saw several Harriers, both the Harrier GR1. We saw the P1127, which was the experimental aircraft number they gave for the initial prototype. There's been lots of stuff here. A Hunter, a Danish Hunter. I thought it was Swiss, but it turned out it was Danish.
I thought it was Norwich.
Yeah.
I thought.
Neither of us were right, but you were closer than I was. And they've got some really old airplanes like the B-2 and other World War I airplanes. And the more interesting, perhaps, for us was they've got a lot of old cars here. Some fantastic old cars, because Brooklands isn't just an aviation museum, it's an old racing circuit, one of the world's very first racing circuits ever built. So it's a brilliant museum, all sorts of subjects. So good stuff.
Yeah, I was told to go there because you can see the old empire and the technique working here. And I would agree that you see a lot of good craftsmanship, ships, British working.
A lot of good old stuff in the days when we used to make good old stuff.
Yeah, and British plumbing as well, which goes like.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, what's a magnet for?
Holding it on.
But it has a clip, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it flops over with the clip because you've got a floppy T-shirt. We're back on the air.
They're talking about the microphone.
I'm a floppy guy.
He has a floppy T-shirt,
Yeah.
which is why we're using the magnet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've got that sorted.
Yeah, and what else? We had a very good time. We laughed a lot.
Yes, well, we both have.
Yeah.
Yes.
We haven't had a drink yet.
No, I was going to invite you back to my village for a few beers, but then you'd have to get the train. You've probably already got a ticket to go to London, haven't you?
Well, then, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
You
okay.
haven't? You haven't got your return ticket yet?
No, not really.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
now.
later on. Okay. Okay. You wrote a couple of pints yesterday in the chat. How are you? Couple of pints? I thought. What is a couple of pints? 6, 7, 8?
2 pints.
2 pints. Okay. So, okay. We have in German. We have the word couple. You can spell it with a capital letter or with a small letter. With a capital letter, it means only 2.
And with a small letter,
it means 6, 7, 8. What about?
We call that a gallon.
A gallon. Okay. Okay. And one more thing, Liz, I'm very sorry I couldn't attend your recording 2 days ago.
It was drunk.
Yeah.
He had a couple of pints.
All in capital letters. No. Yeah, that's about it.
That's
And,
probably quite enough for
maybe
us.
I'm staying a little bit.
Yes.
I'm staying perhaps 4 days longer in England, and we're going to 2 more days in London, and perhaps 2 days in Bath. Bath.
Oh, Bath. You go to Bath?
Yeah, I've never been. My wife wanted to go there, so we're going
It's
to visit
a
it.
very pretty place.
Yeah.
You're going to go see the Roman ruins?
Probably, yes.
Good. And drink some of the water.
A couple of them, yeah.
Some of the water.
Yes.
The water.
Water.
Yeah,
Water's
the water
finding
is-
bells, you say, no?
The
Yeah.
water is very efficacious,
That's all.
supposedly.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
I certainly
It's full
believe
of
that.
good minerals and
Oh,
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it tastes bad.
Anyway, I'm going to ask Stefan to hand it back to you in the studio. But from me, until we chat again, all the best.
And all the best also for me. And I'm looking forward to be if I get a chance, on the next show, maybe, if I have time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What shall I say more?
Yeah, you say, back to you in the studio.
Back to you, back to the studio. And thanks for being here.
Cheers.
It's not scripted, as you can see.
Wow, that was very, very entertaining. Very, very nice. I could definitely tell you guys were enjoying each other's company. Getting back to that, was it the Viking? You're talking about the wing spar?
Yeah,
and
that's
the
right.
flight attendants having to lift their legs over it. And the only thing that came to mind was
Nice beaver.
I don't know why. Something
Well, I
to do
don't
with
suppose
animals.
They had to carry beavers over it. But
That's exactly the context. Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Yes. No, Stefan's such a lovely guy, and we did in fact motor down to my village, and we sat in the pub and had beer and a bite to eat, and then I packed him off on the train.
Oh boy!
And he whistled home. So that was lovely to see you, Stefan. And you didn't make it on the next show, otherwise you'd be here with us. But perhaps the
What
show
happened?
after this. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's in Italy right now.
Yeah, he gets around, doesn't he?
He does.
Brilliant. Can we crack on with the show
Let's.
artwork?
Or,
Okay.
I mean, I won't tell you what I've been doing. That's fine. I didn't do anything.
No. We're going to hear from you and me.
I'm sorry. I thought we were just moving on to like getting over
microphone.
the. Oh yeah. Sorry. I don't know. See, it's all
So,
about me. Trying to make it about me.
Steph's never been on the show.
Told about all sorts of suggestions, but you had the guy from Oshkosh, from AirVenture there, didn't you? So I had to do
We
something
did.
about that. So we did landing on the spots, or in this case, landing on the polka dot, because I thought
Lots of
that'd be
dots.
much more fun than having just 6 spots or whatever it is they
Yeah.
have.
You can't go wrong with that many dots.
No, you can't.
on
You
the
can't make
runway.
any mistakes. You land
No.
on the dot. Yeah, it's easy.
Sure.
Okay, you see the show number? It's easy, isn't it?
I see
On the centre
3.
line,
I see
just above the O. Keep going up a bit.
Oh,
up
7,
a bit, up a bit, right
1.
there. Okay, 7 on the left, 1 on the right.
I see the 7. 1 right next to
One a
it.
little bit, no, to the right, right. No, it's where the
Too far.
right edge of the centre line stripe
there.
is.
A little bit lower.
Yeah, a little bit down a bit. God, that's
There.
it. You had it. And then keep going right, and on the edge of the red
You see the 3
dot
and the
is a
pink
3.
dot? There you go. 3.
There you go. Well done. That's the show number there. Well hidden, I thought. Yes. There's our penguin who's doing his best to crash at Oshkosh. There's at least one penguin crashes every year at Oshkosh. So
yeah.
And we love Oshkosh, but
we do.
The reason we have that is somewhere in there is the logo. Can you
get all
see
kinds
it?
of cool airplanes in here. There's a Cessna Cub. There's a Piper 195.
Wait, there's somebody on that banner. Is the
No, it's in the cloud above the port wing. There it is.
Oh wow,
that's
definitely
it.
obscure. Yeah. Okay.
Tough week. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
excellent.
Right, that's
Very
me
nice.
done.
And thank you for doing that, Showhart. And you weren't even on the show.
It's easy.
We really appreciate your work. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go, Dr. Steph.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to put in there. I just felt like that always comes after when I talk about things. So
yeah.
Oh, we'd like to mix it up a little bit.
I know it's all good. Yeah.
How did you know?
Sorry, back chatter happening there. Moving on. Just a quick update. I have some pictures here, so I'll get those pulled up for you guys. I took a little trip last weekend out to Utah.
Utah.
Where I'll continue the weather talk because we got really lucky with some lovely weather last weekend. Before I got there, is that sharing?
Now you have to
no,
actually.
Where do I go?
Yeah, wait.
It says stop.
There we go.
There it is. All right. So this was my flight out there on Friday evening after work. If you can kind of see what it's a screenshot from Flight Radar 24. If you know anything about the geography of the United States, Charlotte is in the southeast of the country, and then Utah is out west, and there's kind of a direct line there, and we have made a hard left turn as we are approaching, I guess, from Oklahoma, going up through the panhandle of Texas and then towards Denver area, because a huge line of storms had formed, just across the plains part there, and it was actually didn't add that much time, but I'm like, wow, we're heading pretty far south here to get around all this, down near Lubbock and back past Albuquerque.
Got to do what you got to do.
Supposed to turn left or right at Albuquerque. Can't remember what the bug's back was, but one of the two went the wrong way. Anyway, made for some really pretty just cloud scenery. This is why you should have your window open. So there's an overcast, and then the sun was filtering through the bottom of the overcast layer and just being lit up as the sun was setting. It was super pretty.
Does it get really loud when you open up the window like that?
It does. It's a little breezy.
Yeah. Okay.
Breezy. The people around me had minor complaints. But,
yeah. Oh, well.
I don't know.
Their problem.
There's a lot of walking at Salt Lake City, and it didn't help that the moving walkways were out of commission. Yeah. It's a little video. So the reason I was out there before I play this, so I'm participating in a trail race with my brother in September in Utah, and as part of the entry requirements for this trail race, you're required to do 8 hours of trail work, kind of just a way of giving back to the community, make sure that the trails that you're going to be using are being supported. But we elected something a little bit different than standard because it's been so dry out west and they had such a poor snowpack year. One of the aid stations that they use, you can't drive to it. So they normally have water filled from a spring that runs underneath or near a lake up there. Well, this year the spring was dry. There was no water for them to go up and fill their, little reservoirs that they have set up there. And they usually fill it in the spring because that's when the spring runs. Doesn't run all summer, just after snow melt, but it never ran at all this year. So they looked at some various options. A friend of mine said, they should just helicopter the water in. But I don't think the race has the budget for a helicopter water drop, unfortunately. But they do have a bunch of people who need to do 8 hours of some sort of trail work. So the solution they came up with was to have at least 10 people show up and carry in a total of 10 gallons each, 5 gallons at a time.
Ooh.
The math on 5 gallons of water weight-wise is about 40-ish pounds, just over. And then with in my pack and everything, the whole pack ends up being about 50 pounds. So this trail that we had to hike the water into is a 4-mile long trail. starting at 7,200 feet elevation and ending at 9,200 feet elevation. You're basically doing it twice. So it was a bit of work.
That sounds like a lot of work.
We signed up for it because we wanted to do some, we wanted to get some actual training in on some of the trails, and we're like, well, we'll add in some weight training too. Spoiler alert, it was really hard, especially the second time in, especially the last mile or so. It just got to be a lot like on my shoulders. It's about 40% of my total body weight. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see that. Fire ban in effect. Watch for moose, as you do up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
This is the beginning of the trail, and it starts off actually quite steep right there. The little informational sign tells about the glaciers that formed all of these canyons. Kind of interesting if you like the history and geology aspects. These were the trails that we were on. So during the actual race, we'll come from the Dog Lake direction and head towards Desolation Lake. The name of the aid station is Desolation Lake Aid Station. We were hiking in from the other direction on that Mill D North trailhead. Someone has carved some stuff into a tree stump there, pointing in the direction of the lake. This is the lake. You can barely see it there. It's quite low. You can see where the dirt ring around it is. But yeah, during the race, that will be, it's called Desolation Lake. So during the race, that will be mile 61. It's a long race.
Wow.
This was all the water we brought in. So
wow.
Hopefully it'll be enough. And then this was our second time going back down. I started to say the weather was actually very favorable for this. The day before it had been 95 degrees and very dry, no humidity, but still hot. A cold front came through and cleared out a bunch of smoke that had accumulated in the air from nearby wildfires. So we got good air quality, cool temps. I think at 7,200 feet when we started that morning, it was like 58 degrees Fahrenheit, which is
nice.
I felt kind of cold. I had an extra layer on for the first little bit. And it never really got above 70 up there, but we got a thunderstorm with some hail on the way back down, which was not the most pleasant.
Ooh.
I don't know if that shows up very well.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. That can't feel very good when it hits you.
It didn't feel very good. I have some pictures about that coming up in a second. But yeah, It was not very warm, 12 degrees Celsius. That was nice. But the hail did some damage to my favorite pair of sunglasses here. It took off some of the coating. They're not very expensive sunglasses. They're kind of cheap, but still, you can see where it like hit my sunglasses I'm pointing to. And then if you zoom in on the, I don't know if I can zoom in on the, probably can't point to it, but right here is a little bit of that coating, like ended up on my hat. Like it scraped it off and it splattered on my hat. And then I was like, what are all these little dots on my arms? The little welts from the hail. And this was like several hours later on.
Wow.
So we treated ourselves to a beverage at dinner.
You deserved it.
For our work. So.
What's the medical term for a welt caused by hail, Steph?
I'm sure there is an ICD-10 code for it. Here in the United States, we like to code everything and get very specific about it. I'll have to look it up and get back to you, though.
It'd make a great show title, that's all.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. That actually would be funny. I bet there is one.
Hail Steffi.
Hail Steffi.
I don't know. That's a little too close to the, I don't know, some of the World War II stuff they were looking at the museum.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, and then
cool.
Came back home on Sunday and was very sore for the next 3 days. But we'll turn it around and run a race this weekend in Atlanta, where it's going to be very hot.
Yeah.
Peachtree Road Race. On
big
Saturday.
Peachtree Road Race on Saturday, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're already warning about the temperatures. And
it's going to be bad. It's going to be just brutal, hot, humid, disgusting. I'm ready for it. I don't know if Dispatcher Mike is running this year. I should probably find out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have been doing my normal singing, plus I sang in a wedding last Saturday. Sang in a funeral today. That was a sad one for a 5-year-old, and then the normal singing at mass that I do every weekend. And then really the only other thing of note was that I went with a new friend of mine, Shreyas, to a pub, the Old Blind Dog pub, to watch the USA Bosnia Herzegovina a soccer match, and the USA won last night. Yeah, 2-0.
I love that
And,
picture, Jeff. I was going to ask you, has he got a strange shaped head? Because it seems to be very long and sticks out the top of his hat.
That's not actually his head. That's somebody behind him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a very, it's like a cone head. He's actually like one of the original cone heads. He's from France, a small town in France.
Cheers. Yes.
Yeah, I picked him up from his gym and or the gym that he was working out in, and he's got this hat. And I said, what is that? Like, well, USA, and I said, well, do you think that everybody in the U.S. wears cowboy hats?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wait, hang on, let me see here. I'm trying to find that as quickly as I can. Here we go. That's his idea of what we are here in the United States, apparently. But anyway, yeah, he was, and it was, he plays soccer and he plays rugby, and this was a group of guys that are in his rugby team, on his rugby team.
Cool.
And so, just an aside, I think it's a funny story. So we're driving in, and I've not met these other people, and one of them is the coach of I think his name's Griffin. And so he spots the two of them. They have just gotten out of their car, and I'm trying to find a good place to park the RVS. And so we're going, he goes, okay, now speed up and then honk your horn. And I went, okay. So I started going really fast and honking my horn. And then in my peripheral vision, I see him like he's doing a double barrel, Hawaiian loves sign, flipping the bird. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. And so I do a big flipping the bird at these guys whom they don't know who I am, and I've never met them. And I thought that they had seen Shreyas sitting next to me, but apparently they didn't. And so I kind of go along like the back part of the parking lot. As I park, I see these two guys, and these are big guys. These are rugby players. They're like big people, and they're like, they did not look happy. And I was laughing and smiling and everything else. And then luckily Shreyas walks around, and then they see him and go, oh, like he said, they were about to beat the you-know-what out of me. They were thinking like, what the hell? What the heck? Why is this guy, we don't even know who this guy is in this RV, flipping the bird at us and honking the horn? And they were ready to, ready to rumble for sure. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank goodness that you understand that. And Shrey said, I didn't realize you were going to. I said, well, I saw you doing it, so I'm assuming that's what you wanted me to do too. And so in hindsight, I'm thinking probably shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so it turns out that we hung out with each other, for a few hours last night, and all is well. Yeah. Oh yeah, Radio Roger last week was out in California. I'm trying to find, hang on, where exactly was he in California, Liz? Do you remember? Los Angeles area? Yeah. And let me find my little note here. Yeah. So I wrote down here, you've noticed that if you listen to the audio-only podcast where we usually have Radio Roger's intro every week, you don't hear his professional radio announcer voice on episode 713 because he didn't give us a voiceover. So I had to record one, which was definitely subpar. But yeah, so his son Jeremy got married on the 27th of June in Los Angeles in a gorgeous setting with terrific weather, capping a whirlwind few days spent with family and friends. And so I'm glad that he had a great time with his family out there and celebrating his son's marriage. And I'm really happy that he's back and he was able to record the voiceover for 714. So, back to normal. We missed you, Radio Roger. So, there. Oh, yeah. Well, Peter Tarantelli in our live audience says that's a funeral you wouldn't be singing at. Yeah, true. If they had beaten you-know-what out of me. And yeah, 50% alert, Hillel is saying. Why? What's going on there, Hillel?
So I hadn't looked at a map since I originally was looking up that flight, and I made a slight, maybe large, clerical error in my analysis.
Oh.
Is it possible to show my screen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what you do, you want to share your screen. So you click on, I think that you can do that as a guest, the little TV looking thing that has a plus sign in it. Or at the bottom, I don't know, do you see that? Do you have something like that?
On it.
Okay. And then you find the window that you want to share and make sure you share the correct one and not the, the inappropriate images.
Is it showing up? It's not showing up. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Okay. So when I originally did the analysis on that plane, I was using the wrong airport as their departure point. If you can see what's going on here, the pink is the a flight path that I am assuming they are probably trying to do. So when my analysis, I originally picked an airport that was somewhere in the upper right-hand corner of the image, which would have put them above Baltimore and into Gaithersburg with far away. So here's where they crashed. If you can see my mouse, sorry, they crashed around here.
Okay.
Sorry, they crashed around here. Here's where they crashed. Like this, the town of Bowie. If you can zoom in, you see the town of Bowie. They crashed right there.
You'll have to zoom in if you want to zoom.
I can't zoom in. Who can?
You.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're the one sharing the image, so you have to zoom in.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Or not.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
So they crashed right around here at the town of Bowie, so in the incorporated part of Bowie. If you look at this line from the two endpoints, the straightest line would take them directly across Baltimore, and which they can't do, and into Montgomery County Airpark. This is an almost straight line, which kind of makes sense that you're allowed to thread the needle. And this is something you are allowed to do. You're allowed to enter into the SFRA, that's this ring here, and go between Baltimore and National, a maximum of 2,500 feet MSL, and thread this needle here. It is extremely narrow, and make your way to Montgomery County Airport. And that is a legit thing to do. I've done it in either direction a couple of times. It's possible that these folks are used to doing that because if they're located at Montgomery Airpark, they can either go out this way to practice or they can go out that way to practice. So it's possible that this was a route that they knew how to do. So the criticism of why they were there, assuming that this is what they were doing, this makes a lot more sense than if they were trying to go straight across the top. Because again, I thought maybe they were leaving from an airport that's up here. I had the wrong airport. I must have tapped on the wrong airport when I initially, and that analysis would have put them far to the north. Like I said, 50, 60 nautical miles to the north. And, but this line makes a lot more sense. If I delete these two waypoints, you can see how it's not that big a difference between a straight line and that. Yeah. And it's just, it is challenging because it's only 2,500 MSL maximum. The terrain here is, wooded. So that I just wanted to keep us above the 50% mark to say that they were.
Well, there you go. What a great example.
Hello, inside the CIFRA, you're required to be talking to approach control or some version of TRACON, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you can't enter it without being transponder observed, proceed on course. That you're not actually cleared. The phraseology is very specific. It's transponder observed, proceed on course. They will never say the word cleared into the SFRA. We call it that, but
it translates
we do not,
to we're not sending F-16s after you.
Right, exactly. That means we transponder observed, and then you're talking to whoever they tell you to talk to. At that time of night, they were probably just talking to approach for BWI when they got this far, and then they were probably handed off to some other approach, one either national or BWI. At some point, they would have transitioned right around this line here to national approach to finish out the rest of the flight.
I'm just surprised there was no radio traffic or any audio recording of anything being said.
Yeah, they would have been cleared somewhere over this waypoint here. They would have been cleared, and then they just proceed on their own. So crashing here makes some sense. If this was their route, if in fact there was a route, but if you look at their track, it was a little more erratic than that. Still.
Okay.
So that's just wanted to keep us above the 50%.
All right. Yeah. So that's a great example of our goal, our target for being 50% accurate. And in this case, as soon as Hillel sensed that he had slipped below that 50% mark, he self-corrected and real-time correction above 50%. So there's your guarantee right there. Thank you, Hillel, for illustrating that. All right. Just very quickly. Yes. Oh yeah, I guess there's some discussion in the live audience regarding Oshkosh. I guess we'll probably be talking a little bit more about it as we get a little bit closer to AirVenture. Well, a couple weeks, I think. Yeah, it starts on the like the 19th, 20th, something like that.
Starts officially on the 20th.
Yeah, but anyway, this year there's some discussion in the live audience about what I normally do, which is find enhanced camping at Camp Scholler. This year we're going to do something different, and this was an idea that Alpha Juliet had. He has some connections, some friends that have a kind of a private area that's kind of completely surrounded by Camp Scholler and the north-south runway of Whitman Field.
Shh, it's a secret.
Oh, it's a secret. Okay. Well, never mind. Then I'm going to stop talking.
Just kidding. It's not. It's sort of a secret, not a secret.
So is it okay for me to keep talking?
Just don't tell people exactly where it is.
Well, yeah. Okay.
In an undisclosed location.
Yeah, there's an undisclosed. In other words, I guess I could say safely that I won't be staying in the official boundaries of Camp Scholler, but a private area somewhere in the vicinity of Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Velvet ropes.
Yeah,
security.
and so what we're basically going to be using the RVS as a forward operating base, and we're also going to be not going to be staying overnight.
A tunnel to get into Oshkosh.
Well, I don't know if we can
really a secret, Nick.
disclose that either.
There are several places at Oshkosh that are reserved for volunteers, and others that are very involved, but they're not off limits to other people to hang out. They're just not for everybody to camp there.
Well, I didn't sign an NDA or anything, so there's that.
You also didn't get invited back next year.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, maybe I'll do something else then. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not doing the standard enhanced camping thing that I've been doing the last several years, but we will be there. We'll be staying overnight in an Airbnb in the town of Oshkosh. But more information about our plans forthcoming as we get closer. All right. Well, so hopefully I didn't screw that up. You know what? I'll just say quickly, Coffee Fund, we got another nice contribution that we get every month from Mazuz Kareem, Dr. Kareem. Thank you very much for that. And no new patrons. So if you're dying to become a patron of the Airline Pilot Guy Show, the way you find out about it is to head over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee, and all the information's there regarding that. All right. And Tim Van Ram in our live audience. Okay, only way to find Jeff is speak again, sweet lips, so I can find thee in the dark. Wow, I wish I hadn't read that.
You have to whisper that into the air in the vicinity of Oshkosh.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well. Yeah, we're going to do just one piece of feedback, a quick piece of feedback, and I guess it's going to have to be from Tim Van Ram. I don't know why.
Captain.
Yeah. Oh, that's why, because we teased it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and he's quoting Shakespeare at you. So, I mean, how could you not?
Tim Van Ram, please excuse Tim's absence from live show APG 713. Hey, APG community, I owe you all an apology for missing episode 713, but I think you'll agree this is a pretty good excuse. I was in the airplane. I had a flying lesson scheduled right at that time and simply couldn't break away. And not just any lesson, this was one of the most disorienting and memorable sessions of my training. I was wearing fogged-out glasses, simulating instrument conditions, as my instructor put me through recovery from a descending turn over the Sonoma coast. Not that I could see that beautiful coastline. That was rather the point. Let me tell you, that maneuver does a number on your equilibrium. Your body is absolutely convinced it knows what the airplane's doing, and it is absolutely wrong. A humbling and eye-opening experience, to say the least. But here's the good news. That lesson checked the last box on my FAA training requirements for private pilot certificate. That deserves some applause. I have now completed all required training. Yay! Way to go. All right, let me turn that off. All right. Up next, the check ride. I'll be sure to keep the APG family posted on how it goes. I'm sure you'll do a great job, Tim. Thanks for understanding and for being the kind of community that appreciates this sort of excuse. Blue skies, Tim. Yeah, we did. I hate to admit it, but we did miss Tim last week. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. All right. There's your feedback segment for this show. Yeah. We do have some. Liz is so happy because we have a lot of feedback still remaining in our feedback segment. And so for those of you who have sent in the feedback, don't think that we're, dissing you in some way. We just ran out of time. So we'll definitely try our best to knock out as much feedback as possible next week. And with that, we're going to wrap this thing up by pointing you over to the airlinepilotguy.com, the website, where you'll find information about the crew and the community. There's a community calendar there. There's a library, which is kind of crazy. We have a special page for the old pilots' plane tales. We have merchandise. We have, what else do we have? We have all kinds of things there. So check it out. And also, we're on social media, or what I like to call Sochmeds.
Gonna carry forward that phraseology forever and ever, Sochmeds.
Yes.
So speaking of, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/airlinepilotguy, or head over to X. We are at APG Crew. If you're looking for the artwork that Captain Nick was talking about, it's posted to Instagram, instagram.com/APG Crew. And if you would like to see these recordings, the video recordings of the show, join the live recording of the show, all of that is on YouTube, youtube.com/airlinepilotguy. And Hillel's not in the shower. I don't know what to.
Well, I think we should have talked about this before we recorded the show. But I'm gonna wait a minute. Hang on. Let's see. Oh wait, I hear the water. Hillel, can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
All right. Are you prepared to tell us about Slack? I mean, it doesn't have to be the standard thing. Just you can make something up.
I've actually still got the copy. APG listeners, please should join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas. We suggest episode and plain tale topics. We plan events and meetups like Oshkosh in a couple of weeks. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com, or send me a tweet or X, whatever, with your preferred email address to Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel spelled at HI11E1 or Hotel India 11 Echo 1. And see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel. And now you say something
like
pithy.
That other guy that we have do that normally.
Now you say something pithy.
We're out of hand cream, Jeff.
Oh, well, I don't know why. Wow.
Only thing that would be better is if his wife is there to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta cue it up.
There we go. All right. Wow. That was so smooth. Okay.
Smooth. They'll never know the
smooth. That's the definition of the APG show for sure. All right. So thanks again, Hillel, for joining us in the news segment and, well, the whole show, actually. And thank you to Liz, our producer, for doing all the stuff that she always does, which is invaluable to
Thanks,
us and
Liz.
the success of our show. So thank you. And also our live audience, thanks for being there for us. We do appreciate you. And we appreciate everybody listening to this show. And with that, we're going to say, wishing you clear skies, unlimited visibility, and tailwinds. Talons, Douglas.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here.
See you next time.
Again, smooth.
It just goes with the whole rest of the show. Perfect. Anyway,
Yeah.
great to have Hillel on. That was great.
Oh, sorry, I was so long-winded.
No, it's good.
No,
So,
that
so
was great.
Nick, I have a few suggestions. Chat room, where are your suggestions? Some of these maybe from the chat room. Beers with randos. That was around.
Beers with randos.
Beers with randos. So that means
What?
beers with randos.
I'm talking about
beer.
with
What's rando?
Stefan.
Random
Like
people,
random people.
No,
Randos.
that was about you meeting up with Halal for the first time, and people.
Oh,
saying,
that's
when
right.
He, when he was a rando.
When he was a rando.
Okay, that's going to be hard. Give me another one.
H3O.
Yeah, got that.
Okay. Stefan has a floppy T-shirt. Nick isn't quite getting it, I don't think. but
Yeah,
anyway.
no, Stefan.
What was it that you
floppy
said,
one.
Captain Nick, that got us all laughing?
His T-shirt. I don't know. Captain Nick was
Whacking
hysterical.
on?
Whacked
Whacking
on.
Whacking on?
Whack on, whack off.
Whack on.
I'm reminded of a scene in Airplane, the movie.
And then, hail, did your dad hail Steffi?
Yep, got hail, Steffi.
Steffi, okay.
Hail, Steffi.
Which I think is
And
a good.
I imagined Jeff's funeral because he flipped the bird. So I'm, Jeff in a beautiful casket with his hand coming out of the top, flipping a bird, surrounded by angry rugby
I
players.
like it.
Is he singing at his own funeral? You gotta have the
I
notes
like
coming out of the
it.
coffin.
Yeah, gotta have.
And so there, and instead of praying the Hail Mary, there's
the choir's invisible.
Hail Steph.
All around the the outside singing.
Hail Steffi.
I like it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, Steph, you just mentioned Airplane. I not yesterday, day before yesterday, me and my 16-year-old daughter sat down and watched Airplane for the first time. I said, we're going to sit down, we're going to watch this right now because you don't get enough of my jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
So she sat through the whole thing. She actually
Did she
laughed.
enjoy it?
Because
I feel like
pretty
okay,
funny.
good.
I think
It still
I think
holds
Nick-
for the new generations.
I think it's passing down the torch there.
Yeah.
I think Nick's got his title, but there was also, I was going to suggest them, then I thought better of it, something about high jumping flight attendants over that wing spar thing. But we won't go there.
Yeah.
Actually,
thank you.
If I could find that cartoon, the engineers that showed it to us said he wasn't supposed to show anyone. He'd been told off for showing because it was a bit sexist.
A bit racist, racy.
I think so.
Racy.
No, well, racy.
Not racist. Racy.
Not racist. No.
It was at Brooklyn, so it was racy.
Very good. Yes,
racy.
yes.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat room. That was kind of a great show, but kind of out there.
Kind of a great show.
The
Not
best kind of
really.
show.
Really.
Kind of.
Yeah, like, it wasn't really like butter. No, it wasn't.
Listen,
All right.
he's going to fix it all in post. It's going to
Yeah.
be so smooth.
Work is magic.
Yeah, you'll never know. It wasn't smooth.
We'll see you next time, everybody. Good night.
Good job. Cheers,
Bye, everybody.